Hello everyone. Writing is a skill, but there is a good news. It's a learnable skill. Let's start a journey into the research world where words build the foundation of knowledge. Imagine you are at the point where you have to explain the methodology and discussion section. So stay with me to explore and reveal the main strategies and steps to create these sections. So, what's a methodology? Methodology simply means approach, or it includes set of procedures, set of techniques or procedures that are used in a particular field of study or research. It outlines the main techniques used to collect, analyze, and interpret the data to answer research questions or objectives. So, how we can write a methodology in a review article? Simply, you can include these 4 different keywords and it will be enough. So, methodology in most of the journals are optional. However, if the peer reviewers or editors ask you to include this section, you have to mention these keywords. Firstly, you can say something about or one sentence about the main topic. Then mention the name of the databases that you use it to collect the information plus keywords. And also you can write down the time of published paper, start date and end date. Finally, try to include the inclusion and exclusion criteria. So these are some key things that you have to include in your methodology section in a review article. Let's see an example. This is one of the paper that we published in a Nature journal, Cell Communication Signaling, the Impact Factor 8.2. So look how we organize a methodology in a simple way. Look, we wrote just 2 key things. The first one, keywords, and the second one, the name of the search engine, PubMed, that we use it for collecting the data. And finally, we wrote in a simple sentence the inclusion and exclusion criteria. So, based on our keywords, you can mention your keywords. We used PubMed to collect the data, and the study did not finally look at the end of the sentence. The study did not include the disqualifying data. This is a methodology in a review article, and you can mention and use it in your review methodology. Now, the second point or the second part, which is called discussion. Discussion is an important one. Now, what are the strategies or main ways to write a discussion in your literature review articles? Firstly, what's a discussion section? So simply, we can say the discussion section is where you talk about what your research findings means. What it means about your result. And also, it's where you interpret and explain the results, and you have to connect them to existing knowledge, and also you have to discuss their significance. So in this section, you also can suggest possible areas for future research. So writing the discussion section for a literature review article, it involves the synthesizing and interpreting the main findings from the reviewed literature. Also, try to identify the patterns and offering new insights into the knowledge on your topic. So here's a step-by-step guide you on or to write this section. Firstly, you have to focus on your key findings. And secondly, try to mention the comparisons and contrasts. And thirdly, try to find out the gaps and limitations. Finally, you have to discuss the future research directions. Look at this example that we published this year, 2024. This is the discussion section. We publish it in Pathology Research and Practice, the impact factor 2.8. Let's see. We try to explain all the key points that I mentioned to you. Firstly, the key finding. Look, this is the key finding. This is the name of long non-coding RNA found to be involved in etiology of variety of human disorders, including cancers and non-malignant conditions. So this is the main key, our key finding. And also we found out there's this type of long non-coding RNA can serve as a molecular sponge, can sponge microRNA to regulate expression of some targeted genes such as microRNAs. These are some of the microRNAs that are sponged by this type of long non-coding RNA. And let's see, besides this type of long non-coding RNA can affect activity. This is also one of the key findings. It affects on the signaling pathway. In here, we try to mention all the signaling pathways that are fixed by this type of long non-coding RNA, such as this is 1, 2, 3, 4. These are 5. All the signaling pathway that affected by this type of long non-coding RNA in cancer cells. And moreover, it involves in inducing drug resistance in different types of anti-cancer agents. So the next point, the next keyword and second key sentence that you have to mention it, this long non-coding RNA has been shown to be overexpressed in a range of tumor tissues compared with non-malignant tissues. Look, we try to discuss the tumor tissue and or normal tissue. And also, the only exception is a single study in stomach cancer that showed that upregulation in normal tissues. Look, we try to explain all the information plus the contradict information also. Look, and finally, at the end, you have to mention the gaps. The gaps. Look, moreover, contribution of the genetic polymorphism within this type of long non-coding RNA to the cancer or pathoetiology of human disorders has not been assessed. This is a gap you have to mention. So theoretically, this type of polymorphisms can affect the function of expression several types of long non-coding RNA, including this one. We mentioned it in here. There's a limitation of studies regarding to this type of long non-coding RNA. And finally, write down your future studies, your future prospective studies. In here we wrote, taken together, this type of long non-coding RNA is an oncogenic long non-coding RNA in different types of tissues, and it's upregulated. So future studies are necessary to assess the efficacy of this one. which targeted therapies in the treatment of cancer. So one by one, from a specific to general, you have to discuss all the key things. And at the end, you have to mention or clarify the future studies. So this is just some information about the writing of methodology and discussion section in your literature review article. And thanks for your subscription.